Yeah, that'll do. Let's get this started. Okay, hello. My name is Jesse, and on this channel a few weeks back we got a comment asking about my CPA career. So it was, it was slightly cool to have someone, Jill, somebody cares about our life! The accounting part of, I guess, both Jill and I's life, we haven't really talked a lot about, mainly because I thought it was pretty boring. I never really opened up about my accounting, what I did. I was more of a closet accountant, per se.
Debits and credits and debits and credits and credit.
What are you doing?
Debits and credits.
Another thing I'm going to get to in this video is how I went from being a CPA at a public firm and transitioned to being a full-time YouTuber. We wanted to keep this channel kind of about our family and about the fun things that we do as a family and about our family story. But I kind of forgot that I am part of the family, and this journey and what has led our family on a lot of what we do has been because of my work and what I do. I've had the chance to travel to Toronto. I've gone to New York, once by myself, once with Jill, which was awesome. I've been able to go to the UK, and now we're in Nevada for 2 months for my work right now. And so they've flown our whole family down, the client has, to do work that I have to do here now. So Gus had a few questions about how I got into accounting, and then the financial aspect about it. Like, was it worth it to do your CPA? And stuff like that. So I thought I'd just kind of share my journey of accounting so far, what led me into it, do I like it, kind of the journey it's brought me on, what type of accounting I do, how that's impacted our family, and a few different things like that. Did I want to do accounting as a child? No. I wasn't one of those kids who was like, oh, I always knew I was going to do this. I usually reserve that for like the quote fun jobs, where it's like, I've always wanted to be a net. I always wanted to be a net that just catches things. I've always wanted to be a vet, or like I wanted to be an astronaut or something like that. Those lifelong dreams where you see someone do it and you're like, wow, that's what I want to be. I liked math. My uncle was an accountant and he seemed to like it. My mom always said, you could do accounting if you like math, just mainly because my uncle did it. We had a lot of teachers in the family. I do like teaching as well, but eventually I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'll do accounting. That was my big decision, and my big life turnaround, my purpose in life was, okay, I guess I'll do accounting. So I did my Bachelor's of Commerce in accounting at a university in Canada, and Canada is where I also did the CPA program. I ended up quitting my CPA program for a year because I thought I did not want to be an accountant anymore. I said, this is so dumb. I hate business. I hate money. I'm going to become a youth pastor, and that was my thing. So I spent a year doing that. That was my break out of CPA. I couldn't run away from accounting. That ended up being what I was supposed to be doing, which was really unfortunate for me at that time, but I grew to like it. So I came back into accounting with a whole new attitude, a whole new perspective, and I passed my CPA exam a year and a bit ago, and now I'm a manager at our firm. Honestly, going through the whole accounting program, I liked it, I didn't like it, I don't know, there were some aspects I liked, some I didn't. But I feel like after a university degree, that's okay. It's okay to not like certain parts, because no one comes out of a university degree knowing what the heck they're gonna do in their actual job, or being fit into like their slot, right? Because there's a ton of different things that you can do with accounting. There's so many different avenues and aspects of it that you need a few years of working to actually figure that out. If you have that figured out in university, props, that's awesome. One of my favorite university courses was risk management and insurance, and I was almost going to switch my degree to that, but my mom swayed me against it, and turns out I ended up doing risk anyway. So graduated university, the big question then is, do you go public accounting or do you in industry? So public accounting, obviously you're working for a firm. That's usually where you hear the horror stories, the grunt work, the hours. And then industry sometimes is more cushy. People get paid generally more coming out of university into industry, work less hours. But as I've seen in the last 6 years of working in public practice, is they're just different. They're different, and you have to weigh the pros and cons of each one. Starting salary, that was one of Gus's questions. I was offered multiple things coming out of university. They were like 43,000 plus or minus $1,500. That's what you're gonna get probably starting out in public accounting in Canada, where I live, which is Alberta. So thinking about that, some of my friends were making like 60. It was a range of like 60 to 80,000 almost, for my friends who went out and did industry first of all. So they went, a company found them. There's quite a few companies now where you can do your CPA route, your courses and your practical experience and stuff with a company. You don't have to be at a firm, and you're making more money usually coming right out of university. So I chose to go with the people. That was the biggest thing. So I had a couple firms, and I liked the feel of one firm. The people just seemed a bit more relaxed. The people seemed a bit more fun, and it didn't seem like it was going to have a lot of drama. And that was what I wanted. I wanted people that were friendly, that were normal people, and like, let's get the job done, but like, let's be normal people at the same time. So I started out in a dual position. They needed someone to do internal controls, ICFR, which is like internal controls over financial reporting. They needed someone to do that on one team, and then I also had the auditing route for my CPA. Eventually I got to choose, which was great. Me personally, I did not like auditing because I don't really care if a number is wrong. I don't like the accounting theory. I never have. I've never been like a crunchy, let's make this theoretically perfect. I know them, I need to know them for my job, but I've never been one to really, like, enforcing them is not what gets me going at the beginning of my morning. I did one busy season in audit, one busy season in internal controls, so they were opposite sides of the year, and then I eventually chose the path of internal controls, and that is where I am still in, as well as data analytics. I think a lot of people benefit from this. So firm versus industry. If you are working for a company in industry, it could be healthcare, it could be manufacturing, it could be services, it could be whatever. You're an accountant for someone in a company. You will likely make more. So in your first couple of years, you will be laughing because all of your public practice friends are working generally longer hours and getting paid less. And you will be enjoying a cushy-er job. Of course, it ranges. A cushy-er job and getting paid more. But you are seeing one company, and that is all you're seeing. Industry, paid more, working less hours. Public practice, paid less, working more hours. Experience-wise, this is where industry starts to fall and public practice starts to rise. Because after 3 years in public practice, you will have seen many different people, because you're going to be meeting senior financial people across different companies, and these are going to be your network. You're going to see different types of accounting, you're going to see different companies. My fingers are slower than my words. In industry, you're going to see one company, you're going to see one set of management, and you're going to see one type of accounting, and that is okay, especially if that's what you want to do. So both have pros and cons. I've seen people in industry work longer hours than people in public practice. I've also seen people in public practice make more than people in industry. There's always exceptions to the rule, but generally, if you want to learn more and have a bit of different work and a variety of work and potential to do different types of things, then I would do public practice. If you know what you kind of want to be doing and your life just might fit a better 8 to 5, making a little bit better of a salary at the get-go, then I would say do industry. The wages. So as you start, industry is up here, public practice is down here. After about 3 years, they become about even. 4 years, 5 years, once you get to 4 or 5 years at a firm, most often you're going to be making a bit more than people in industry, especially at kind of like a senior level. If you're making it to management, then you're definitely going to be making more than your senior accountants in industry. And over the long term, if partner is something that your life wants for some reason, then we're talking kind of like this, unless you're comparing to like a CFO type role. Like partners, CFOs, like probably around there. There's such a wide range, but after 4 or 5 years, that's when you're kind of see your money start to match and potentially surpass your peers in industry. Hopefully that helps. Another one of the questions that they had was, did the CPA license help you financially? Yes. Not making a lot of money really sucks, especially with a family. My wife was a nurse. Like Jill was a nurse, and she got in a car accident. She couldn't work. She had to stop being a nurse. So we were relying on my sole income, which, as I said before, really wasn't that much, for a couple of years until I got the CPA designation. And that was a driving factor of like I need this CPA designation because I know how much I'm going to make after I get that designation. At a firm, your pay does increase like significantly once you get that designation, and your options open too. So I was like, okay, if I want my family to be able to live, like I actually need that designation because I need to support as a sole income. Like looking back, do I see public practice as being worth it? When I could have been making like 60 to 80 starting out in industry and gradual increases there versus like the 43 and then hoping to get up to there and hopefully past that later on. Looking back, do I see it as worth it? In my personal case, yes, I do see it being worth it based on the experiences that I've had the opportunity to do and the experience that I have on my resume now as well. So I guess industries that I've worked in, like I've done like the public stuff, like the government stuff, municipal, I've done post-secondary, manufacturing, energy services, oil and gas, like distribution, field services, like ATM stuff, like there's pipeline stuff, like there's a lot of stuff that I've done and a lot that you can put on your resume. I just feel like there's a lot more opportunity that I have now because of this. And so in the moment when I was earning not so much and Jill wasn't working and we were struggling, it sucked. It really sucked to do that, but it's like an investment that I've seen. It's like you're investing in your future. You're meeting so many different people across so many different companies and industries. You're meeting all these people that are going to go out and become heads of finance in all of these companies and industries. Like you're essentially going to the boiling pot of where all the future accountants are going to go to if you're going to a firm. And those are all your contacts. They're going to go out to companies. They could potentially hire you, which happens. You're meeting all these different companies. They could potentially hire you, which happens. You're opening up a lot of opportunities, and the more people you know, the better job you do. You have a lot of pull, and eventually you start making a good wage in public accounting. So that's kind of my experience so far. Did I miss any of your questions, Gus? Can you work remotely? What does your work lifestyle look at your company look like? What you'll find as you move into, especially a firm, you'll get a bit more wiggle room because you're always gone from the office anyway. So you're always remote on your laptop, usually at a client's place. A lot of the work you get is digital, so you probably can do a lot of it from home. In your first year, you will need to prove that you can be trusted to do work from home. If you say you're going to get something done, just get it done. That's something I like, is some days I'll have something happen with our family that I need to stay home, and like our kids are throwing up or something, and so sometimes what I'll do is I'll work like 3 hours interspersed during the day. I'll get done what I absolutely need to get out to people that day for them to continue doing work, and then as it comes to nighttime, I'll do like 5 hours from like 7, sometimes like 7 to 12, or it'll be like 5 to 10, or I'll do early mornings. That's something that I really like about my job, is I've done times where I've woken up at like 3 and like done a bunch of work before coming in because I know that I have something later that day. I can kind of work whenever I need it, so long as what other people need from me is done. My work that I have to do myself can really be done at any time. So long as I'm getting the work done, people are happy, and we're good. Most people operate under the thing of, if you are getting your work done, they are happy. Do I plan on acquiring my own clients in the future? No. It's a possibility, but right now I do not see that as being in my future. So I hope you enjoyed it. Check out our channel for our family to kind of see our family journey alongside me going through this process. That's kind of my journey so far. And I can get more in depth into specific parts, like why I quit, what did I do for my year off, like what's the impact on like family life, like what's Joe's side of it, like all of those things. We can get into more of that. Just let me know if you want to see it. And if you want to see it, then we'll do it. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find this helpful wherever you are in your CPA journey, and whoever you are. Accounting can be fun if you like what you're doing and if you like the people that you're doing it with. And it's so far it has been really good. So far I've really liked it. All right, thanks so much for watching. See you later.